Hey guys, my name is Citiac and welcome back to another episode of CanalTown here in City Skylines, where today I want to do something a little bit different. Now, when we first started building CanalTown, there was already a few features within the map that were already there before we kind of came and slightly destroyed the area. One of them being was this beautiful dam. Now, although it does produce power, I don't have the ability to click on it, which is really weird. I don't understand. But it does produce power, and I thought to myself, hold on, is there a way in which I can maybe potentially build a second dam? Main reasons is, I feel like it will kind of complement the current dam that we got right now. It will produce even more power, and I won't have to rely on the sun. I can rely on what keeps CanalTown running, and that is the water. And then I thought to myself, where can I place it? Well, that's what we're going to find out today, guys. If you are enjoying the series and want to see more, then make sure you smash that like button down below. And if you are new around here, make sure you do subscribe so you get notified when more episodes do come out. But bam! We are back. We are back. And the dam in question is this one over here. Now, looking at this, it kind of makes perfect sense. It's a mountain, like I say a mountain, there's a hill there, backs it all up, comes down for our beautiful little kind of river that eventually feeds in. It's not the main drag of water kind of in here, but it's quite a sight to see. We have this little bit of an excess kind of overspill drainage area, but you can't click on this. I can't click on it. I can't do anything with it, but it does produce power because we had power. I didn't have to build a power plant for quite some time in this city, and this is the only power plants that we do actually have right now, these solar panels. But then I thought to myself, well, as I was building this last few episodes, what kind of caught my eye was the background. Hill, river. You see where this is going? Wouldn't work over here. This one's not high enough, plus there's a highway running around the side. But look at the difference in the elevations there. What if I did the same? Big dam going across, backed all the water up, so the water height would be up here behind the dam. And it drains all through this. Hopefully you don't cause any flooding. It might actually drain it a little bit more, you never know, but it'll be a way that in which I can control the dam. Yes, I could delete this, but I don't want to, just in case I kind of cause some issues. But I thought it'd be a great way to kind of implement more power. Now, we're going to check the topography. There's one thing I haven't really done, and maybe it's something I should have checked out. And look at the difference in the heights right now. So this, well, lighter green bands of the medium right there is the same as over here. So you can see how much kind of we can back up this slight little river. I believe there's a water source just over here as well. I might need to kind of raise it a little bit higher, maybe add one or two more in. It's going to be expensive, but I think it will be a great addition. Now, we just got to figure out where exactly we want it. So if I was to go to the power right now, go to building a dam, and pretty much if I went from there all the way across, it's facing the wrong way around. What are you doing, game? You're facing the wrong way round. That's not the way I want you to go. No. No. How? Wait. I've never had this problem before. How do I make it go? Oh, there we go. There we go. Right, okay. So, I'm still playing around with it. So, I could dam it to there, but obviously we need that thing to be in the middle, so we might have to go. Do you know what? Actually, before I do continue, where is the other one? Where am I? I'm completely lost. Where am I? There I am. Okay, so that is just as it changes to the next one. So that is at pretty much the same height that was building it, but obviously we want that thing to be in the middle. Now, we're not really going to get that when building this. Oh, it's gone all funky now, hasn't it? Solely because the middle point. Do I have to take it a little bit further back? No. This is hilarious. I don't actually know how we were meant to kind of make it go a certain way. If I go a bit higher. Right, what if I build it here? Aha! Okay, building it there. If I go up a bit more. Alright, I want it in an area in which we can take the most advantage of. So if I'm going to go from here, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 we'll go for the 7th one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's number 7 right there. Now, do I slightly... Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do I slightly angle it to a point where it makes more sense for the river? Right, I'm going to build this here. Okay. It's going to cost me $500,000. And I'm going to pause the game real quick. So I've built that there. We're going to have to do some terraining and all that kind of jazz. But everything behind this is now going to back up with water. So we're going to make sure that we do this all correctly. Now, the only difference with that one compared to this one over here is at the top of the level, it's kind of flat ground. You know, just kind of around it. The other one, it's kind of not. It could still fill up and kind of overflow slightly. So this is where all the terraining is now going to come into place. So if we get the brush size a little bit bigger, we're going to flatten inside there. And I kind of pick the height that it's currently at. And we're going to take a little bit of a chunk out because I kind of want it to treat this edge here as the shore, if that makes sense. So it's going to kind of go quite deep on all of this. Same here as well. And then push that kind of back. So treating it as the shore, we'll get a little bit more out of this. I'm going to kind of carve in a bit more. There we go. And then we're smoothing a lot of this all out anyway. I want to run this a little bit further along. I know it's quite harsh, the terraining that I'm doing. But it's going to lead me into many, many, many beautiful areas that I can kind of work with. So creating that little shelf, which is going to be really, really handy. We're quickly smoothing a lot of this off right now. And we'll go for a larger brush size. So we can kind of do it over a greater length. Take the heat off this edge. Now, it's not all going to be perfect. It's going to look quite rocky in some areas. But that's the character in which we are choosing to run by. We'll do the same on this edge. Quick little smooth there. We'll get the majority of it on this top little tabletop kind of edging that we've almost kind of created. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. And back into play mode. So, as of right now... Actually, not to play mode. As of right now, this should start backing up. I just need to make this a little bit more central. So, reducing the brush size again. And we'll get to about here. If I kind of... We kind of have to sliver down in many kind of regards. There we go. And then we'll smoothen all this off. This isn't really going to make much of a difference. It's all going to be backed up and you won't even see it anyway. But just kind of thin that out. And I don't know how much water is going to come from this area. Up the brush size. There we go. But I'm trying to make that a little bit more central. Which I don't think I've done a perfect job, to be honest with you. Because we kind of need it to kind of come out of this. And be even almost on both sides. Like that, and let it then filter its way down. And then we'll let it decide how the rest of it is going to run. That's what I reckon. That's what I reckon. So behind it doesn't matter too much, it's just these sides. Now for this, well I didn't do anything. Why am I pretending I did something? I did nothing. We've got key walls that kind of come out, which that would also be quite handy. Utilizing the key wall kind of behind it all. So key walling it, mate. And we'll go from... Right, let's go from here and then run down by a 50. And then trying to match that, what we say here. So that there is a 14, that there's a 16. So if I go out by a 4 there and then down by a 50. Right, I know you can't see it, but just bear with me. Well, there's not a bear with me, but just bear with me. And then we shall select this all with no trees. We'll first align it to the object height of this one. Well, what happened there? Something happened and I don't agree with it. So align to the object height of you. Is that the object? Is that the height? That can't be the height, right? Anyway, we're going to raise it. And we'll raise it to here. Actually, no, we'll go a bit higher. We'll go to about there. And then we'll kind of create this little funnel. Then let it do its thing. That's what we'll do. So what we'll do now then is we'll kind of bulk this up a bit more. So reduce that brush size. Pick the height to it. And then we're going to take it all the way back to the edge of the actual dam itself. And then we'll invert some of these segments so they're all okay. So bring that to there. That's going to run obviously into it. That's going to run into it. Can't see it behind. That's all good. We're going to quickly invert the segment then. So that's unlocking it. That's not inverting it. Inverts this one, isn't it? Yes. Bam, 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 bam. Right, that's now all inverted. Glorious. And then how does the key walling end over here? It kind of runs parallel with the edging. Right, that's interesting to know. That's really interesting to know. So we'll then actually we'll first kind of go at the bottom of this like that. We'll then kind of, and we'll smoothen all the edging out as well. We'll kind of run with this to where we can't run with it no more. Like that, where it just kind of naturally takes over. So if I just kind of smoothen these edges off. Okay, not smoothing them ones the correct way. Smoothing all this off here. We'll go a bit bigger. Because you've got a lot to smooth now. A lot too smooth. Alright, pushing that out. There we go, there we go. And I feel like we need a little bit more bulkiness around this. So maybe kind of slightly raising this. Nice little chunk. Same on here. And then smoothing that out will give us the kind of effect that I'm after. So. And the effect is more natural. So to there. And then we'll kind of get this to kind of bend with it slightly. And then I think we're ready to start filling the back end of it up with water. So what I'll do is we'll naturally just kind of follow the edge ever so slightly. To about there. And I think I end it like that. Granted, it looks very, very weird at the moment. You've got to give it time to fill up and the water to flow through. But this should work out wonders. So up that brushed size there. Get rid of the trees. And this is us hoping that, you know, the height of this is going to be to that level. So what I'll do, I'll reduce that. I'll reduce this. And then we'll use our elevation abilities to go from there. And I think I'll bring it to about here. And then let it kind of gradually get lower and lower as it goes on. Same for this one. To about there. Oh wait, did I click the other one? I don't think I clicked the other one, did I? No. Bam. And then we're smoothing the rest off. And then I think we're done for now. We'll then judge the rest of it as we go along. So just smoothing this off. Get some of this edging smoothed off as well. Flatten this a little bit more inside the key wall. There we go. Just gently come away from it. Same with this side real quick. Just gently come away from where it ends. And then that there, we'll kind of smoothen from the top. Same on this. We'll smoothen from the top. And then we'll just kind of see how the lake or the river wants to run itself. because it might be way too high. I think what makes the other one work really well is the overspill that we can also, well, that we've got over there. Now, I'm not sure how that's created. Is that created via, like, what actually is it? Is it canals? Yeah, I think it's actual canals running simultaneously side by side. So we'll just see how busy this actually becomes. So if I now put it into play mode, it's going to look really, really weird. And I've got to wait for the water to now kind of slightly modify itself. This is going to take a while to kind of build up. So I might start to see the river kind of drain out, then reverse back on itself. But like I said, it is going to take some sweet, sweet time just to kind of slightly adjust. If I can fill it up and create some type of overspill, I think that would be pretty cool, but I don't think this is set up to be anything like the previous one. So, water sources. We have the one here. Now, this is going to overspill if I lift that up. So, let me quickly check how this one's done. So, we've got the level of that. There's a water source before it. Right, okay, I know exactly how this is going to work right now. So, what I'll do, I'm actually going to cancel this water source and pause one more time, because this is something that I didn't quite think of as well. Brush size, if I go at slightly a little bit higher than the actual dam itself, and then we have to make this be the same level. Because I don't want the water going back, if you know what I mean. Going back and then like through the other area. So if I kind of create this little slight semicircle. Now this is actually going to take quite some time to fill up, but we should be able to do it pretty quick if we kind of just modify ever so slightly. Now this is a very, very wide basin compared to, let's just say, this one over here. It's very wide, this one. So I might also then think about narrowing it. So if I just kind of come in like this, kind of come in a bit more. And then this one as well, kind of come in a bit more, and then frail away slightly. And then what we'll do is we'll up the angles, the elevations, so it kind of looks as natural as we can kind of get it. And we don't need, to be honest with you, this to be crazy, but then we're just smoothing it all off. You don't realize how much terraforming goes into building a dam. Alright, pull this away like that a little bit. Alright, smoothing that there. So as long as the water doesn't go back over the opposite side of it, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. Now, following that line, going around, like I said, I don't think we've got the ability to create a little bit of an overspill. I don't believe we do. That line... Then again, you know what? Never say never. Okay? Never say never. Because looking at that, it kind of is the same. Where am I? I'm over here. I can't remember where I am. Never say never. It could potentially be possible, because the way that they also create a basin with the water overspilling. So enough jibber jabber now, guys. Let's fill this puppy up. So water then. We'll place this down here, and obviously we're going to raise it to just to about there, which is quite a lot. It's quite a lot of water. And if I then do one just before it, just to kind of help us out as well. So these here could flood. If I kind of get the angle right. This could flood the whole of CanalTown. But the dam's is what's going to stop it. So play mode then. Now this, like I said, is going to take some time to fill up. It really is going to take some time to fill up. So we're going to have to kind of play the waiting game ever so slightly. But this is going to be very interesting, having a secondary dam. I'm really excited. So by the time that fills up, hopefully all this here should be settled as it still goes downstream. And while we do wait, why don't we kind of try and spend some of our current demands that we've got? So this little industrial area is working pretty well. We're making some sweet cash money moolah. Very, very good. It's all our own production as well. I want to take a look at this area over here real quick. So our little kind of, what do you want to call it? What's the best? Our tourist little kind of area. We're going to fill all this up here with some residential. We'll come back to the dam momentarily. All residential over there. We'll throw in some residential over here as well. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. And then let's build some roads around here and slowly get this kind of all set up. So we'll go rural. And I'm going to use the parallel tool right now. I'm going to go from parallel from this all the way to here. So if I go bam, bam, bam. So I believe 80 is like the equivalent of 10, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll shebang that just there. We'll do the same again. Up to 80. And then we'll slowly start to kind of come away from it, actually. We'll go from about there. To here. And we'll do an 80. And then we'll leave that like that. So we got a couple of roads running straight through. Now most likely we're going to have to upgrade them because it does do this weird thing where you kind of lose your zoning on these roads. There we go. Very nice, very nice. And then we're going to kind of let them run into a few little ends. So they all get slowly connected. So an 8 by 8 and then straight in. So we'll do that one just like that. We'll set this one up. So where it will bend. So 13 by 13. And then straight in. And then we'll use this connection to go straight down. And then straight in. And then we need a few more other connections like that as well. So is there a possibility that your boy can do a bend around here? So it happens to there, which becomes a 5 almost, doesn't it? Right, we'll run that 6. That 6 there is fine. And then this will run straight down and straight in. I'll do an additional one just here. And I'll leave it like that because I could do something within this area. We've got these roads going straight to there. Crossings for that is just there and one further up there. So this is more all about kind of creating the suburbs. And I reckon we need one more about here. And then that is like your standard 10 by 10 bend, isn't it? And then there's not really much dramas with this area. It's nice, clean, thought through. It all flows and goes to where it needs to get to. You know, it proves the point. It sorts everything all out. And that was quite easy to create. It kind of still gets your grid kind of format. But the roads kind of all flow through, and that's perfect. So we have no water over here. So that's a there. We'll then go up by 20 odd. Bam, and then straight down. Up, and then to there, and then just cover this little bit just here. Very good. So we have no power over here at the moment. Okay, we do have a little bit over there. That's not a problem. Oh, there's a little bit of terraining issues here. It drops down ever so slightly. Okay, that's not, I mean, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. We're going to build first a little bit of a commercial kind of section. We'll kind of pause quickly as we kind of zone all this in. So we'll go commercial all down the main strip, which kind of faces the beach. Which, again, we can eventually extend the beach, going all the way down this way as well. And we'll kind of build a couple of piers and whatnot. So we'll do that like that. We have these little endpoints, which I'm going to utilize some office space in. Because, you know, it's pretty much a little bit of a dead end. And on the corners where you don't really want the most traffic for buildings, you can kind of squeeze in some offices. Same for over here as well, squeeze in some offices. And then down here too, we'll throw in some offices. Offices for days. There's something there, isn't there, zone, but we'll change it to offices. Providing some workplaces nearby. Now, this is a lot of zoning I'm throwing in, don't get me wrong. But we're going to go Nice big and bold and brash on the residential. And this will take a time for it to all fully grow and be settled. All like that. So we'll let that do what it's got to do first. We'll build a park over there with some schools, get some services in very shortly. But this will be the beginning of this area. And hopefully it'll provide the theme park as well with a few more visitors too. So let that do what it's going to do. I know it's going to need some power very soon, but we'll give it some time. Oh my goodness me, it's actually filled up pretty well. So I'm not too sure when it will start producing the power. But this is filled up a lot quicker than I expected. I'm sure at some point, once it's all fully established, we'll take a look at trying to build like a little bit of an overspill. If this doesn't go to plan, there's going to be some mass flooding. Let's just kind of throw that out there right now. We all should be slightly worried. If any of these dams break, to be honest with you, there's going to be mass flooding. There really is. Now, I like this here. I like what they've done. They've kept it to the same level and the little kind of square thing, which is what we should probably think about doing if I want to implement something on these lines of doing this. So if I came out, let's say on this one, by a 20, I'll raise it to the same height in just a moment. So here it came out to bend round. So bending round is what it's doing. So this one is coming up to then bend round. So we'll come out by a little bit there. And we'll bring it to here. So I'll bring it like that. That runs, okay, it comes out and then runs on, because that road kind of goes over the overspill. So if I ran this down to a 20, so that road went. Hang on. The road goes over the bit that goes down the hill, doesn't it? So in reality, if I ran that there, ran this back by about here, right? That's where I want it to connect to. So that was an 8-ish. If I just bring it down by $30. Now remember, I gotta make this all the same height. So it kind of floods in, squares. Where's it gone? Squares itself. So if I brought this down, obviously delete this. 29. So if I do a 9, I know that's then a 20 space. And then it will kind of flood down this way. I mean, it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. It's not perfect. I feel like it needs to stick out a bit more, doesn't it? Right, we'll go to a 50. Bam. Which in reality, it's coming up to here, isn't it? A bit more. Yeah. Maybe I run it parallel with this one. Where's the 20 on that then? Well, there's an 11. It's all because it's not fully to the level that it needs to be. There we go. So it will kind of flood in and then dribble down. I mean, it could run straight down like that. That's fine. But I gotta wait for this to all fill up anyway. Right, and so if I select all of this key wall, deselect the whole of this as well. If I then get it to be the object height of this one, there we go. And then the land should all work together when it all fills up. We'll sort out all the inverted stuff, but I'll just leave it like that for now. We are getting awfully closer. It is not producing power just yet, but we are getting awfully closer. We've still got a little bit further to go. Just realising we're not fully to the height of the level as well. Alright, give it some more time. So while we're waiting then, how are we doing down here? We need power, Sadiak. Yep, no problem. I'm on it, mate. I'm on it for you. So let's sort out the police and the fire departments first. Yeah, let's go for these big boy ones. So I'll place you... Yeah, why not? I'm going to place the fire department just there. Police department, I'll place it right next to it. And then we'll get the schools and stuff in a little bit later. Same with the medical centres, but that will give it the power needed. So you get more people moving in. They'll utilise this junction quite a bit as well, hopefully. But mainly this one. This will be the main one being used, but it's a little bit more freer anyway lately. Seeing as you built that monstrosity. Okay. Okay. We're getting close to the key wall right now. I got to get rid of all these trees as well. I'll wait until I know where the actual water line is. And it's still yet to produce, so no water's flowing through us as of yet. We must play the waiting game. If you look at this tree, if I put my cursor just here, oh, hang on, the camera's also moving as well. That's not gonna, it's not really going to help. But we are slowly moving. It's slowly filling up. Slowly filling up. So once I know the edging, I can then carve all this in, create my little downspout for the overspill, key wall this off a little bit more as well, and then you'll naturally get the edging of the water, like how you get a little sandbank for all of this. Once this starts producing water, it'll start making the river flow outwards. At the minute, it's slowly reversed itself. That's because the water's not coming down this way. But we will get to a point. It just needs to be filled up a bit more. That tree is now heavily underwater. We're getting there, boys. We're getting there. I'm excited right now. Very, very excited. So, liking the fact that this area is now being built up. We do have the canal stops there and there, which would also get utilised. Would mean I could place one eventually here, or maybe even do it there for the ones going this way. There's two routes going that way anyway. So we'll see how that goes. But CanalTown's slowly growing, and I'm a fan. I am a fan. Okay. Oh, look at the chaos at the airport over here. Damn. Damn. How many flights? Hold on, where's the name for this? Is it all one airport? I think it is, isn't it? It's all one airport. 142 flights. I don't know what that means. It could also be a passenger, but I've definitely got to do something, sooner than later, to sort this monstrosity out. It is a bit OTT, isn't it? It really is. Right. Producing yet? No. How close are we? Oh, we're very close. You can no longer see them trees. This is going really well. So that shouldn't be far off then, but until it starts producing the flow. to create power. We might have a little bit of an overspill until then, but we can't be far off. We honestly cannot be far off at this point. Water's flowing backwards, so it's still coming in to go back out. It's almost where we want it, but balancing a dam can be difficult. It really can. So if I bring this... oh, no, I've moved it, haven't I? I didn't mean to move it. A little bit higher now. I created a big dent right now just by moving it. How hilarious. Should push up a bit more. Once that starts producing, I know we're going to be okay. But this is a huge dam, boys. This is a huge dam. Right, okay, so we'll do a little bit of terraforming while we are waiting. So try and get the level of this all correct. We're going to have to invert some of it. By the looks of it. And we'll take this as the height. It's so slow and like kind of glitchy right now to terraform, because of how much water is moving behind me. It just feels really slow. Also, that's not deep enough either. I mean, we could do it at that level, but it's definitely not deep enough. Not producing yet. It's okay, it's okay. Alright, it feels a lot deeper down there because we are going slightly downhill. Alright, get all that flat in the middle. So this won't help us now, kind of creating this, because it's going to divert a lot of the water flow. I might as well invert these segments while I'm waiting. Come on, boy, you going to invert? There we go. I'm not sure why that one's not doing it. I might need to there we go. I need to terraform a little bit more, didn't I? Right, so the height is different. It's completely off, the height is. So we'll just smooth out a little bit of this. Alright, smoothing the whole, push that back to push that back a bit more. Just to quickly get the level of this. I'll quickly scan around the edges. Like that. We're going to push this a little bit further out. And then we're just going to smoothen off. Ever so delicate. And let it do the rest. So are we now moving the water? Is it pumping out yet? No. The amount of water I got behind this dam's ridiculous. We are going to get to the point where it might be slightly over that. It's not at the moment, which is okay, but I don't think I can go any higher. I think I'm then at the limit. But this ain't helping me right now, because it's going to fill this up and stop filling up behind. So give it some time, but that's going to be our little diversion that we're going to create anyway. And then once I've got the levels all correct, we'll do a little bit more terraining. But once it starts flowing, it will kind of drop slightly anyway. So it's all about the waiting game. It's It's all about the waiting game. I'll get rid of these trees. I know these trees are going to be gone. It's a shame trees don't die out naturally. So I didn't have to do it all myself. Right, we'll just run to here. Right, we can't be far off now. This producing water. Power. Oh, there we go. It is producing power. Okay. Water's now coming out. Producing water. What am I talking about? So, we have to go through this little kind of moment now where it'll produce power, then it will drop down to 0. Because it gets to the level, and then it obviously flows through, then it drops, and then it stops producing, and the water rises again. We just got to find that little bit of a balance. So, when it's a consistent number, then we know we're A-okay. But it's still filling up here as well, so I've got to wait for this to all kind of level out. That's what we got to do. I'm definitely going to make it go straight down, the water. But expect a few overspills, as you can see now. Expect some overspills until this has fully settled itself. So I'm not too worried just yet. I ain't too worried just yet. On here, how it works. Oh, but then again, the land kind of cuts in a bit more than usual, doesn't it? The land does cut in a bit more, so I could do that here as well. I cut the land in like that. Which I suppose is a little bit handier. Stop it truly going over. But you expect this when you're building a brand new dam. You do expect this. You got to give it a bit of time. So the flow is now going down, producing less power, even less now, to the point where it's about to turn itself off. And then that's when it then has to kind of slightly fill back up to the level required for it to turn itself back on. And by the looks of it, it's gone up again. Okay, now it's not operational. So we got to give it a moment. Wait for these little overspills to kind of finalize. Wait for the water to back itself back up again. And then before you know it, it should turn itself back on. So while we wait for that, land is all good here. All this edging will eventually turn to sand. So it'll be like a more of a natural edge. I don't have to worry about any of that. I'll still key wall a bit more of it. And once it's filled up a bit more, you might get a little bit more flooding here and there. You see the levels are definitely dropped. But it will start to produce again shortly. So that's all looking good. I want to get rid of that edge as well, so I might flatten a bit more around. So at the moment, what would normally go through the dam is actually coming through this here. It's overspilling here. So I've still got to wait for it because it's still flowing in and it hitting the wall and then kind of overflowing. So what would normally go through here is currently overspilling. Still got to wait. Okay, there we go. A little bit more power being produced. It might go down again. Or it might stay consistent. No, it's definitely going to go down. It's just finding its nice little balance. Once this stops overspilling and it remains within the basin, it should then push itself through. We've just got to wait. We've got to wait for this to kind of then stop going that way and then bounce back. Where are we up to right now? Still 0. It's got to play. You got to seriously play the long game with the dams. You really do. Oh, there was a fire over here. Damn. It's definitely destroyed a ride, but I don't know what ride it's destroyed. Oh my, that's dangerous. That's very dangerous. Oh, damn. That's kind of crazy. If anyone knows what ride was there, let me know in the comment section down below and I'll add it in next episode. Right. We're producing? Not yet. We're still slightly overspilling. So still playing the waiting game. You can see water still trying to enter in. We're starting to get the natural edging right now on this one side. A little bit over there as well. Okay, you see the water flowing back out that way, so it is turning slightly. And then that's when it should start filling back up again. And then we should start producing the power. So the overspill has kind of stopped for now. Until we get the next wave coming in. So we're just waiting for this dam to tick on. Come on, Mr. Dam. You can do this. I can't believe how much we've kind of filled up in this area. Come on. You can do this, Mr. Dam. You got this right now. You got this. Power. 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 Come on. Not overspill. Oh, it's still slow. Still a little bit going on. Still a little bit going on right now. There's a little bit of a kerfuffle down here, though, isn't there? Oh, let me kind of bulk that up just there. And smoothing it off. Prevent any more issues there. Come on, Mr. Dam. Don't be such a damn fool. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Right. The edging of that's filling up. We got to be producing now. Come on, boy. Come on. There's no overspills anywhere. We might need to just bulk it up by one more. There we go. Just a tad bit more to get the flow coming through. I would not like for this dam to break. I would not like for this dam to break at this point. You got it. You got it. Any moment now. Well, then again, I gotta wait for it to fill up again, don't I? Yeah. Right. Any moment now, it should start breaking. So, how is our brand new ore industry actually making quite a bit of decent cash? I'm really happy about that. The Popo's just arrived over here. Now, are these going here, or are they going to these little mining machines over here? I think they're all going to these mines over there. They're ready to pick up some goods. Oh, yeah, they're fully loaded. Okay, they do need to distribute them goods soon. I really do. This is working out pretty well, this mining area. Is it the most profitable industry they have? No, my farming is. Then it's the ore. Then it's the unique factory, which we do need to add in more unique factories. That's just reminded me. We'll do that next episode as well. Are you working? No. Well, why not? The water's got nowhere to go. The water legit has nowhere to go. So raise it a bit more. It's now raised to the point where it's going to borderline go over the back end. So this has got no choice right now. But then, oh, there we go. Now it's producing. So this is where we have to then fine tune it, balance it all out. It will turn. This is where I'll go for the cycle of turning on and off, on and off, on and off, until we get that balance of the water level. So hopefully pushing in the right direction. Then we should start to see the water. I mean, it's definitely bubbling around here now. Definitely bubbling. Water's skedoodling through. But we'll see how much it changes lifting that level as well. So we'll start to get this planned out anyway for these little canals. This is going to be... I've never built this kind of a system before, so this will be really interesting. I think it's the really wide ones. So if I just build this one in the middle first, then I'm going to use the parallel tool to do the rest. So if I went like that, right, I know this is not how it's going to be, right, but if I then use the parallel tool, so I want to do 2 like the other one. But if I then reduce it, that was at 80. So to 40, right, bear with me. Right, oh, my mouse is going all over the place. Reduce it to 40 and delete the original one. Right, and then use the parallel tool again. All the way down. To put this one literally right next to it. Like that. And then that's how... They're really wide, so the water flow going through them is going to be quite high. But that's literally... I mean, you could argue merging the 2 sides a little bit closer together to create one. Is this now power again? Yeah, power. It's now turning on and off, on and off, on and off. So we're almost there. But this is our little overspill that we can create. So obviously that would run directly into here. So if I ran that to 30, and then, oh, I didn't think that through. I got to also parallel that, don't I? Bam. Like that. We got to like terraform it as well, so it doesn't look like completely obvious. Is that still on? Yes. So I don't know how this is going to play out as well, with the fact that once I start getting this working as well, how much it's going to take away from what we've currently got on the go. That's going to be another interesting fact. So pause and then delete this. And then I run this in... Well, I might as well run it to there. And then parallel the same. And I think that's all I kind of need to do. Obviously, apart from the key walls situation. How do they do the key walls for this then? And like they make it all okay. Okay, the key... Oh, okay, I see how they do it. It literally ends there where the key wall platform is. Where am I? I'm completely lost. So if I do it to here instead, so if I deleted you, and because I can lower it, which wouldn't be a problem. But if my key wall came into here, then I slightly anti-keyed it that way. Oh, that one went the opposite way. Oh, that one maybe didn't work out how I expected. So if I did that, obviously it's all completely all over the place. But then we're going to angle all of this, so from there to there. Set the slope height. But of course, we reduce... Well, do I reduce? No, I'm just going to delete you and you. Oh, I didn't mean to delete that bit. Did not mean to delete that bit. We have to parallel that last bit in. Sir, what's going on? There we go. Hoping that this will play out the way I want it to. It's still not going to work, because the way that this kind of comes in, it's like a direct connection off it. It's merged all the way in. It's also at this... Oh, it levels out at the top. It levels out at the top. Right. 20. Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. So, bam, shabam to there. So, those here are the same height as the key walls. which is definitely very, very hard to do. So I'll make it go just a little bit lower. Right. All fun and games, guys. All fun and games. So there to there. Bam. Leveled out. Bam. Leveled out. I'll keep this to this point. That's completely fine. Or is it fine? What if I grab that and then just kind of bring it in at an angle and then reduced it right down to its level? Same with this. It's not going to be identical to what I've currently got, but I can make it as close as I can. So that will be the overspill of this huge, huge dam that then runs down. To make it look almost like the other one, I could do an elevated footpath. That kind of goes across the top of it. But then kind of ends like that in a weird way. And then play. Yes, I know I got to do a lot more terraining right there to kind of get it all working. But that will then tackle the overspill as it then drips down. So eventually we should find a nice little flow. Which I might need to reduce these. And then wait for it to all kind of balance out. And then it's just then eventually waiting for this to do its thing, to turn on and off, on and off, on and off. To where it's all completely balanced out and it's all nice and fine. We're going to have to play around with the edges. Make them a bit better for the flow. But I'm quite excited about this. We're smoothing all the edge of that little land out as well. But this little overspill, it's not perfect. It still needs a lot of fine tuning, don't get me wrong. But it ain't too bad to kind of see it all in action. That's actually producing power. So with this draining going out, means a lot more water's coming out of this area, which then does mean that he needs to kind of produce more water. But it's what effect it has on this area. How much more water is it going to push through the rivers? Will it become slightly flooded? The answer is probably yes. But at the moment the water's kind of coming in to fill up. We'll see what happens. Okay, we'll see what happens. But it's all going to plan. Little overspill. This is just a little bit of excess that's kind of coming through. Water's flowing. We're producing power. There's not much more I can ask for at the moment. Apart from doing a little bit more fine tuning. Hopefully it's not too much of an issue. What I can do is I can put down a water source. I'm going to assume there's a water source at the bottom of this. Yes, there is. And that's low enough to where it absorbs the water. So like what would happen is you would kind of like put a water source here. But you would put it low enough that it kind of absorbs water. As you can see there, it kind of sucks it in. And then give it a moment. Again, you've got to fine tune that water source as well. And that will then kind of level it out to a point where there's not too much excess flowing down. But it might also be better to put it a bit further down the river, and at the same time, doesn't need to be that level. It can be the level of how you want the river to be, and then it shouldn't really go above it. It should kind of keep it to a nice steady kind of calm level. But that's producing actually more than ever before. which is good to see. So we've now got an additional dam power. Oh damn, this is amazing. So we'll give this time to kind of sort itself out, and we'll see what it looks like in the next episode. But very interesting, I've built a second dam in CanalTown. How will it work out in the long run? I don't know. Only time will tell. We still got a lot more fine tuning that we need to do, but I'm liking how we can use these canals to create like a little bit of a bypass, a little bit of an overspill. So we'll sort this all out. We'll try and get it all settled anyway, to the point where it's consistently making power, and then we can, you know, link it up to the city and it'll be all right. We'll also get some stuff going on here as well, so we can get vehicles driving up. But by adding that little water source down there has kind of really shaped this bit as well. It's not producing or pumping too much water through. Just got to give it time for the water to slightly settle, carve some of the edges out as well, and I think we should be okay. So until next time, I'll see you all soon. So goodbye.